feeling it so much because there's been a mutation.
Something has happened.
Something
There's definitely
has
a change.
happened,
Yeah.
You know, so now this is creating a point through which we can change again and dismantle from this hybridization, this mutation.
To go back to the original.
Yes, because now what we're becoming, we are losing transcendence, transformation, and just dropping in limbo and becoming, you know, spirits that have no going forth, have no means to transform and reform, you know, and show the beauty of creation.
Because it's very true that nature in itself is robust and it's ever evolving. I mean, even a flower will tell you it comes in a seed form and then it sprouts and there you have a little flower growing up and that can in a couple of years be a huge tree. So there's always going to be evolving change in anything that is natural. There's definitely a problem when we get to a point and we can say, wait a second, there's no new changes, there's no transformation, there's something there's a pathogen that has been introduced that is causing ukungcola ukuthi kube khona in the system.
You know, and it's turning, you know, ubuntu bethu, our soul, you know, into now a cog, you know, of mutancy.
That's right.
You know, so that is why earlier you were talking about, you know, people are asking questions, you know, children are asking, why is this way, you know, and you're wondering, how is this coming from you? Where are you getting this? You know, because indalo, imvelo.
It's still there. And Bonaga Futi, they're coming from that space. They're still closer to the umbilical cord. Because of the conditioning that happens as it's cool, Angie.
Yes. Yeah. So now that's why you then find that it's becoming very intense for umuntu olimele. You know, there's even when they can't acknowledge that balimele, because you can still dress up and move normal, cannot realize that ulimele, you know, because now nature is saying we're not waiting as a whole, and you yourself, you are nature.
Yeah.
You know, so the entire blueprint is saying no, umdali, you know, is saying no, you have to change. Whether it means there's been things happening, I need to just listen to that person, listen to that show. I know, you know, on radio, you know. So and the reason why it is important to have to engage and take on is because it's cracking you. You know, when lokulunga as wenzeka, it's as if you are ballooning, it's as if you are imploding and about to explode, you know, because where there's fecal impaction, nerves have been made to just stop. Now there's this vibrance,
it disturbs the system.
The frequency of the moon that's just opening that up, and these nerves are beginning to creep in. It feels like you are cracking. You know, so it is creating what comes across as if there's chaos.
Yeah.
Whereas uglunga, you know, so in this moment, I will say it is such a wonderful thing that we are able to have these talks. You know, we are able to let the mothering sound to happen, because it needs that umuntu create indlela. Of assisting themselves, of aligning with the change that is happening. To some, it's a reset. To some, it's a renewation. To some, it's transformation. To some, it's ignition. You know, many things are happening. You know, so it is very important to stay in focus and align with these things happening. You know, your stars. You know, we these organs as these planets that we are, because nature is a host of host. You know, so we as hosts, we are also going through the fact that in certain organs or houses, there's been uglimal, and the entities that are housed in that organ are needing change as well, because as the host is hurting, nazo, these entities or nabo, they are hurting. You know, so we need to really pull up and create a connection that ignites clarity.
That's right.
So we can be able to know what to do. Hence why I'm very much in this place of wellness. Wellness through sound, wellness through what we eat, because even umama esancelisa or encelisa, there will be a thing of, have you eaten? Are you making ubisi lengane?
That's right.
So we need to go back to ukudla okusiphilisayo okusakhayo. And align with it and welcome it as our friends. Because we are a family.
Dr. Sabi was one of the people that were very vocal about the fact that this whole thing was actually ruined by the fact that we changed our diet.
Yes.
The food that we used to eat vibrated well with us, and it really made us to raise the frequency that we had, so we were able to do things that we are not able to do today. You go to ancient Kemet, you go to the Nazca, you go to to the Himalayas, you go into those rock caves, ubona hieroglyphs, and you're like, wait a second, there were people that were able to reach heights that we cannot even fathom these days.
Can you imagine one of the earliest people or in these lands that walked with Nama beings?
That's right.
They were able to detect that, the beings that are called Olmecs in the Gulf of Mexico, they were going through an attack from mutancy.
That's right.
And they were able to pick that up, and made a decision of traveling and being with them, to create a means of ukuthi baphile, and so to carry on the vibrator as these great beings that they are.
Yes.
And these are our beings. These are the people of Umhlaba.
These are people from Umhlaba. There's a guest that we definitely have. I'm sorry to disturb you there. There's a guest that we have, Ubaba Umenzi Masego. I'm sure that you know him.
Yes.
He's a gentleman that is a part of the experience. I did speak to him. He said that since you are on the show, because remember when we did the first interview, he was like, oh, he has seen him. So when he put I shouldn't have missed being part of that experience, because he's here right now. And we're just going to have this thing going as the listeners are currently listening at home. I'm just going to try and put him on so that he can speak with us. Babu Masego, are you there? Can you hear us?
Greetings, siyaphila papa, siyaphila nkosi, uyaphila.
Nathi siyaphila zanusi zeinkanyezi, zanusi zomhlaba, zanusi zasemanzini nasentabeni. Niyaphila ngempela.
Siyaphila papa.
Siyaphila Baba Masego.
Ngiyakubona ukunika izinto zakhona lapho ukuthi ulalele kahle. Ngiyathokoza ukukubona mkhulu, kade yagcinana.
It's been a while. It's wonderful ukukubona nangezwi.
Niphekani lapho?
Sipheka ukuphila, nothing else, ukuphila and joy of being ekuphileni. That's all it is.
Into eyenzakala lana, Mr. Masego, is that we are basically inviting Ubaba Ubakantu Naira Luzuko just to give us.
Even to know, so
you can hear us, right? You can hear us. Okay. No, I'm beautiful. No, the reason we have him here today, the basic topics that we usually ask, but abantu baba nokulahleka kuona, like we're just gonna be defining the few things abontu and the spirit, and of course the happenings of the afterlife. But bengifuna ukuthi siqale sithi nje deal with the first aspects of siyazi ukuthi there's this concept of ntu and sizibiza ngabantu. So khona lento kantu, what is it that you can say about just these words or leli gama likantu?
Untu ngingathini, it's the root word of the of ukuphila basically. Untu, I mean, you have umuntu, you have abantu, you have kintu, you have kwantu, all over Africa, and then there are variations: unu, anu, mo, and means the same thing, but it is the essential part of what a human being is, and not just a human being, but every living entity that is imbued with the divine spark. And what do I mean by imbued with the divine spark? Ngokwesintu angithi siyazi ukuthi umuntu unenyama.
Yes. Usakhona nje, our line is
Mawunomzimba yena akawona umzimba umphefumulo, so identify the location, the foundation actual person is, and then it's a performative thing untu also, not a matter of you are born and then you are umuntu. You are not born and then immediately you are umuntu. There are certain rites of passage that give you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Siyakuzwa kahle, Mr. Masego. And your take on the matter would be, Mr. Luzogo?
Untu, you know, as Ashbab Masego Guti, it is, you know, an ignition. You know, Untu is this spark lenhlanganisela yendalo eyenza ukuthi kuqhubeke the vibrance of organicness.
That's right.
You know, ukuhlanzeka kukamdali, ubuntu, ubuthina, capability of staying vibrant and being able to grow. And being able to, and when I say grow, ngikhuluma about to be able to initiate that which shows,
Yes,
that which is born, that which is capable to perform, you know, where you find that kuthiwa singabagantu, you know, we speak of the harmony, the oneness of creating the rhythm of organicness.
I think it's absolutely true. Ngiyakhumbula now, Mr. Masego, you did mention at some point when we had one of our interviews ukuthi lento lena is it's like a tone that we are locked into thina abantu abaqhamuka this part of the land. Baba Masego? Okay, I think we do have a bit of a problem there. I've noticed that every time we talk to him, there's a bit of a gap. But it's absolutely true that you are saying if we are not in alignment with our true essence, then we sort of see we sort of lose our essence, and then it's as I mean, we've adapted so many of the foreign cultures. It's very true that we might as well not know who we actually are anymore.
Yeah, you know, this mutancy that we speak of. You know, Yoguti, you know, when you eat something that takes away the template of your cell, the making of your cell, then where do you get what to do what?
Yeah.
Within you? Where do you even initiate the means through which you will know that I must move that and put it there because izotholwa ilanga kahle noma ngeke ibe sesimeni sokumolda?
That's correct.
You know, so when you eat things that disturb the sense, the means through which you can connect with life, you know, connect with life, because it gets to a point where you are not living off breath.
Yeah.
You are living off steam of burning within you. You know?
So you're using up more energy than you're supposed to be gaining from.
You are basically
wasting.
burning out.
Yeah.
You know, and running on the chemicalia that is limited, that loses.
Yeah.
You know, so you are forever needing to. Okay, there's this steam.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm a high flyer. Then the next thing you are dropping.
Yeah.
You know, and you feel sickly. You are out of motion. You are emotionalizing. You are locked in being fenced in. What confuses? You know, emotion. You know, you are exiting from the rhythm of ukphila.
We're going to sustain it and move you forward.
Yeah. So if this wellness through what you eat is disturbed and buggered and distracted, you know, it will tell in everything that you do, and being used to what is not right, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that things are right.
They're not.
They're not.
And it catches up anyway.
They're not.
Well, we're dropping jewels right there. Of course, we did have Mr. Masego. That's Umenzi Masego. You definitely want to check him out as well. He's an avid listener, and of course, we love having him around. It's just that we had a bit of a problem with our connection there while we were trying to speak to him. Of course, we're going to go for a small ad break and come back with more jams. We definitely have our guest still in studio. That's Babu Luzugo, still chilled with us. Let's go for a small ad break and come back with more of your stuff.
It's the West News Style.
Makali weekend, ikali
ayisakahlasele ayinamathelele into aniphumelele ingane zithandile ufaka abatyevile awuze
We the best.
Phakamisa amehlo wami usizo lwami lovela phindlela imiphela phambili ngobalekela amathunzi ayebukela sesiphelile isikhathi indlela zobumnyama ngoyifihla kweliphi ihlathi ngokhala ngoba ngobikela ba ngoba ithuba ngitholile ngokhala ngoba ngofulathele nalomhlaba ogcwele inzondo nami ngiwelele phesheya ngojezela izono zami ningikhulekele nqini idolo ningakhali bantu abami nami ngigijimile seliphelile ibanga lami letha nali phepha nami ngibhale nami igama lami bhekisa ikhanda phezulu ubamba isandla sami
akhala kwaphela inyembezi mangithandaza kuphela amagama ukhala sisi lutho impilo inqabile ngiyavuma langishonela ilanga langishonela bo langishonela ilanga langishonela bo akhala kwaphela inyembezi mangithandaza kuphela amagama ukhala sisi lutho impilo inqabile ngiyavuma langishonela ilanga langishonela bo langishonela ilanga langishonela bo
bathi ngomthandazo sibhekezele sophumelele kwehluleke nomama bethu sebesikhuleke basinika ithuba lokwenza kahle siyahluleke wonke urongo esudalile uzoba nomphumela bengihamba ngomnyama mina bengiphuza amawala bengalaleli umuntu noma bengikhuza abadala bengishisa izinto ejika amehlo jike ngisho umqondo bheka manje sala kutshelwa sesibona ngomopho
akhala kwaphela inyembezi mangithandaza kuphela amagama ukhala sisi lutho impilo inqabile ngiyavuma langishonela ilanga langishonela bo langishonela ilanga langishonela bo akhala kwaphela inyembezi mangithandaza kuphela amagama ukhala sisi lutho impilo inqabile ngiyavuma langishonela ilanga langishonela bo langishonela ilanga langishonela bo
jikile izinto la impilo inzima la lempilo engiphilayo esimini engasikhethelayo dala ngitabalasa kukho nokodwa okuhlanganayo sathane ngitshela ukuthi ayikho into engiphilelayo
akhala kwaphela inyembezi mangithandaza kuphela amagama ukhala sisi lutho impilo inqabile ngiyavuma langishonela
Yes, of course, it's your favorite radio station. It's Voice on the Move Radio, and Oscar is the name of the art, or at least the host. And I do have our beautiful guest right here. It's Bakantu Naira Luzugo on Soul and RnB Vibes. Yes, of course, you can send your comments, anything that you might have in mind, a question. I will definitely relay it to our guest. And today we're just talking African spirituality and anything that you might want to talk about, especially at this present moment. We were going over the fact that, Untu, or what is Ubuntu, is something that you really cannot define in a word form or just have it completely defined, but in words. It doesn't work like that quite. This thing is actually infused with izenzo and the way of living, the way of doing, the way of caring yourself. So this is some of the teachings that we are learning from Mr. Luzugo today. He was actually going on and telling us more as I will open his mic, and he's back online right now. Mr. Luzugo, he's right here in studio actually. Mr. Luzugo, you were actually defining ukuthi le nto lena ayikho emagameni kuphela. It's deeper than that, because
Truly.
ubuntu busuka ngaphakathi lapha esiswini bunyuke buze buye lapha kwi-cranium, and then it emanates.
Yes.
Sikhuluma ngalawo ama-chakras futhi. Do tell us.
So it is not just leaning on words, especially that the extent through which the cognition has been actually tamed and fenced into just a language that doesn't really carry a phonology that will ignite this.
The language that we're using now to even use the word. Yeah.
So yes, what becomes a definition is that which motivates and gives a frame of ubuntu. Uguti, okay, now when you get on into these doings, ukudla kahle, in a manner that leaves your blood the capable being ocean that will carry oxygen, that will take toxicities or ukungcola out of the brain and all those things.
Yeah.
When you have now engaged into sounds that don't juggle and circus your frequency,
That's right.
your frequency stays right in a manner that even when you show up to a plant that somebody calls a weed, it says, wow. And you're like,
We need ukuphila.
is everyone listening?
Yes.
It just talked, like how, where you get to a point where you realize that monkeys don't just go,
It's communication.
That is an echo.
Yeah.
You may find them saying, yeah, we talk like you do.
Yeah.
That's why when they take all these things that they knew before they crippled,
Yeah.
umzimba.
Yeah.
They will show you an elephant that's talking. A lion that moves with a being, and they're having a conversation.
And
Because
you
we
wonder.
are talking in rhythm, in vibrance.
Yeah.
We are talking into ukuhamba kwegazi. We are talking in, because umzimba is electronical, is magnetic, not just biological.
That's right.
So when these things are moving, when low gas is moving in your nerves, that creates a vibrance, and that vibrance becomes a product. I won't say a byproduct, a product through which we are capable to now make a sound that we will design into a talk.
That's right.
So when you now then eat in a manner that will keep things right, when ngizokwenza isibonelo, umama will say, musukuvela udonse nje amajezi from the drawer. Thatha kahle.
Yeah.
That means you are anyone else who's coming, but even you, when you're coming back, say you are coming at a time where you have to move quickly because they are waiting on
Things
you.
are still
It
organized.
will be easy
Yeah,
to pull
still
the
organized.
actual one that you want away. You won't just take any. You will take the one that the body wants because it knows where you are going,
Exactly.
how the color that must align you with the space you're gonna be at. So even in the body, when you do things in a manner that keeps things that way, the ignitions of intokozo yokuthi uphelele and uyaphila, the breath is moving right, will then give you a light of, ubuntu, because we get to realize that ubuntu is not just a motivational concept.
Yeah.
Of ukuthi phila kahle, philisana nabantu.
Yeah.
It is the juices that empower the heart. That when the heart is the tree of light, the heart being the tree, it bears fruits of the soul being guided by spirit.
That's right.
So then these juices, ubuntu, the soul, then becomes an igniter, the sacred waters.
That which we experience as abantu abangaphandle who are looking at you and communicating with you. Sesibona le nto lapha ngaphansi kwena because it speaks your essence.
Size sithi unobuntu.
That's right.
So lobuntu lobu we find ukuthi again is lamanzi esigcinwa kuwona esibelethweni sikamama, the amniotic. Now the reason why uncela is the womb outside of the womb.
But you are in the womb.
Yes. Hence why ubisi lungabonwa na umoya. Ingane iyakulona engonweni.
Because it carries on with that which it was doing.
Yebo, only ngaphakathi.
That's right.
So then now this lokuncela, taking in this milk, is to create this thing that you hear kuthiwa we are made of water.
Yeah.
We are made of amniotic. Why we need to take in this milk is to design the capability of always being the producers of this amniotic.
We are carrying the message forward.
Ourselves.
Wow.
So we can always womb ourselves. When you hit yourself,
it's self-repairs.
Because confusions have locked on you, you then are able to save and protect yourselves. You don't find your kidney hurting, even though you were inflamed by something so hectic.
That's right.
Ushawe umngani wakho, we were playing with hammers. So to live by taking care of this amniotic, lokuhlala esibelethweni, hence why we don't even say we are in the atmosphere, we are in the inmosphere. So ukuhlala in that essence needs you to respect and honor these ways that keep it. Ukudla kahle is the means of crafting umzimba ophilayo, izulu eliphilayo, where umdali resides, that shows up all the time as you. Omunye umuntu azabaleka athi kunendlela ongibuke ngayo. Why? Because now our thyroids are assisting each other. Yazi sike singene endlini and in the library, where we're not supposed to make noise, we gotta be silent and respect the reading that's going on. And you leave having not said anything to any being. Maybe you greeted, but you leave your thyroid knowing ukuthi behleli noThemba.
Yeah.
uThemba iliver yakhe elimele, its deepest layer is burning because it was infiltrated by a hazardous bacteria. Now, these thyroids are working in these waves, in these frequencies. That is lontu esikhuluma ngayo, lobuntu esikhuluma ngayo.
I can see you without you saying anything to me, but ngiyakubona.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Because so it's stemming from lobu wellness, lokuhlala uyile template yokuthi uyimvelo and you are organic. Purity,
my man.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Bakantu Naira. We are gonna go for a small ad break, and we're gonna have just to have that closure. I know that there's so much that we still have to cultivate. I mean, I know that actually we actually have to do this again because there's so much that is required from you, especially from the listeners. I'm admiring this knowledge that you have. Let's go for a small ad break and come back as we wrap it up with Mr. Naira, who's gonna be giving us a closure and giving us Stefan in the spirit. One of the listeners was begging with cousin in the spirit because almost every corner that you turn around, do we actually know what's going to taste? We're going to go for a smaller break and come back with those juices.
Voice on the Move News. Here is the news.
Lela simnyama bo khanyisa tho Gogo skoseni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni Gogo skoseni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni Phela mina dala ngiwambuka ntabalasa kodwa umzamo yami phelele emoyeni Mina dala ngiwambuka
ngothabane ngibuya le Natal ungixolele makwenzeka ngikhuluma into engazwakali sengihambe ngaze ngafika la ngilandela iphupho lami izolo ebusuku emaphusheni bekufika umkhulu wami wathi lalela mzukulu ngifuna umele ikhaya lami khona umuntu engizokuthumela kuye uvuka ubamba ibhasi impilo inzima lapha engikhona ngisemkhedeni wabathakathi ngakho ubona nawe izinto zakho zonke ngahlangana ubone ngathi unamabhadi ongazi uzowasusa ngani lo muntu ungafika kuye ngamchazela isimo sami wena-ke mawufika kuye uzobe sazi ukhala ngani futhi noma ungafika ungachaza isitori sami
Nyama bo, khanyisa tho. Ndlela simnyama bo, khanyisa tho. Gogo sikhotheni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni. Gogo sikhotheni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni. Phela mina dala ngiwambuka ntabalasa kodwa imizamo yami iphelele emoyeni. Mina dala ngiwambuka ntabalasa kodwa imizamo yami iphelele emoyeni. Phela simnyama bo, khanyisa tho. Phela simnyama bo, khanyisa tho.
thokoza khobela ngiyabona inkinga zami zokaqeka nalento okhuluma ngayo vele inokuhlale yenzela phupha ihlatheli nomgodi ngizwe nomuntu ememeza kodwa ngeza ukuthi uthini lamazowashilo eyi yazi ngakhulu kimi ngibonga ukhanya ngibona inhlanhla ngibona kudeda nokumnyama ngiyathembisa hloza ngeke iphele inyanga ngabuyanga ngibonga ihlozi lakho nakuba ngihambile ngaduka ngacela indlela emakhosini ngathi sekuqala uba mnyama fisa ngabi ne-weekend ezohlula ngabhukhwanga ngifisa ngenzeki nenyanga iphela icwecwe lingaphumanga nakumnikele embengeni akuvaleliswe emakhosini thokoza
Phela simnyama bo, khanyisa tho. Phela simnyama bo, khanyisa tho. Gogo sikhotheni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni. Gogo sikhotheni ngicela ungelele nakho ngizofela emaweni. Phela mina dala ngiwambuka
That's Goko Skoteni. That's Tall Boss single that was released just this year. A beautiful song that you will only find exclusively on your radio station. It's Voice on the Move Radio. Make sure that you like and follow. It's stuff that we do every single Sunday on this particular show, of course. Do remember that you have Moira that is going to be coming in at 3, or well, at least at 12 to 3. She's going to be giving you that beautiful show. It's got such beautiful content. And it's not just the content, but the music that she plays as well is absolutely divine. It's to die for. Well, you're chilled with Oscar Somi. I have my guest as we draw to a close. It's Bakantu Naira Luzugo. As a spiritual healer, a shaman, a teacher. He's actually been right there in the alley, making sure that abantu bakithi abazikhohle ukuthi bangabobani, and the power that is vested in us as indlemnyama. Sike sakhuluma nje ngontu, igama leli siliphathayo masikhuluma ngabantu, ubuntu, mina ngingumuntu. But then we say these things and ingane zethu ziyazala nje kuzo lekhathi. Sometimes they don't even know ukuthi kusuke iqhama phento. So we need people like this who are going to just remind us ukuthi ke kahle masikhuluma ngalento yini lesikhuluma ngayo. The fact that ubuntu nontu is not just something that you will lazily find in an Oxford dictionary as a word that can be defined, but it's actually a way of living, a way of doing, a way of being. Indlela nje oyiphethe ngayo isho kona ukuthi unabo lobuntu bungaphakathi kuwena. It's an essence that you are moving with. It's like a halo that you wear, if you want to call it. It's magic, baby. Well, you chilled with Oscar Msome, and our guest is still right here. We also spoke about spirit and spirituality. Ngase ngathi ke phela kumele sithi kuyingena le spirit ngoba emhlabeni esiphela kuona manje ikhona lento ukuthi hayibu hey abantu abathwasa. It's like even if you go to consult mama manje laba sike sibabone, baba laba sike sibabone mase consulta bavele bakukhombe kutheni hey cha impela ufuna ukudla igobongo, kumele udle igobongo, ngathi impela sekumele uqale ngala yini, ngathi abantu ba pushwa towards this direction, or is it very something that is supposed to happen? Maybe I'm the one who has it wrong, but you can enlighten us. Please do enlighten us.
The word spirit is made of two words. So there's SPI, this as in spiral. You know, the talking about the movement of umoya. You know, jigeleza isn't. Why is the jigeleza? It's to allow for transparency, honesty. You know, hence why we speak of it geometry. It's always in openness, so that you know that you are in what you are well to be in by your understanding, by ukuconnecta kwayo, by ukulunga kwayo ezikubiza to harmonize with you.
That's right.
And then there's this spirit, you know, coming from ritual. Now that just implies that the doings that promote the spiraling, the geometry, the transparency, ubuntu showing up, you know. So spiritually, living spiritually means now living in a manner that is about things that speaks to ukuhlala uqondile ngokuqonda. You know, to live in a manner that doesn't disturb the organicness, the nature that you are, that allows you to even know that I am Usbanban. You know, there's things that happen. Your brain, your tower is sending messages, you know, and you get to a point where you now upimiselo ukuthi no, mina, I am this and I overstand, I do this and this and this. So to live in ways that really promote and honor and respect that, you know, these rituals. But now getting to the essence of ritualizing now in the manner that you are coming from with your question, you know, we have to understand that we were people that didn't even do amasiko. You know, now I'm taking you even way before the first mine was dug in this land. So people, you often see sasihamba nezingwe, ozinyokhulu, you know, tigers, elephants. You know, we're moving with his imvu iphume izohlala nawe etsheni. You know, we were beings that were actual virtue, you know. So now that means izinto ziqondile.
Yeah.
So why would you need to make a ritual for into engadingi ukubuyisela? Because ritualizing is reactualization. Right. So now we then made into contact with entities that are mutated, whether in a form of sound, whether in a form of omunye umuntu, whichever ray of beaming that shows themselves as, you know, many things that you can speak of that, you know, we find ourselves in contact with. Even sometimes you find that, you know, a star is moving, carrying beings to this home, you know, and when ubuyilusela wakhethwa by the actual vibrance of that star, yenza ukuthi uvibrate in a manner that you can't handle.
That's right.
You know, because the softwares that are vibrating you cannot run that essence you just caught, you know. So when you are not assisted right, then that means you're going to get to a point of really mutating if akwenzanga ukuthi you know. Yes. So we've come in contact with beings that abalimele or things that ezilimele ezidinga ukuritualize. For instance, this fixation of blood comes from the fact that blood is the carrier of nutritional media.
That's right.
You know, so we go to Okushankulu, the ram. You know, we go to, you know, animals that are still, you know, wild. And when I say that, I mean authentic in their way.
Not the domesticated.
Not the domesticated that are tend to be used, you know, kukhulunywa ngamazinyo, engonyama, in, you know, because now there's nutritional media that won't need you to do so many things.
Yeah.
You know, you've got something esiakhiwe, you know, that
it's ready to utilize and move.
To install.
That's right.
You know, so then that idealism of now being fixated to it is based on the fact that, okay, if Inyati, Inkomo, has been eating all day, it's eating all sorts of herbs, plants, and when they coil in, they blend in, they become remedifying. You know, there's animals that will eat and not eat for many, many days.
Of course.
Because what they've collected within and put into their blood to be distributed to their homes or their organs, you know, that they host, you know, is so high vibrational. In a langa, convertwe la transformega into many other.
Doesn't have to take a lot of food that is just wastage.
Yes.
It takes the stuff and utilizes it, all of it.
So now to eat loco, to take igazi la loco, is to now empower yourself with an already formed remedy.
It's transference.
You know? So one of the things we can say about this is that you're taking a shortcut. You know. Now, the problem with that, remember we used to be hashed about curiosity. You know. Now, it makes you curious to want more. Now, from having this remedy, now you want, because blood also takes away toxicity.
That's right.
You know, which means you can screen and find what's been happening in this person's brain if then the blood I'm meeting is coming from cleaner in that brain. What's been happening? You know, so a mutated entity now is curious to want to know, why is this person so capable to jump so high at women and or the so-called springbok?
Yeah.
You know.
You
know, so the curiosity ngoba manje I grooming around yon. You know, based on ukuthi kusana le excitement ukuthi ngidlele ligazi elimnandi. You know, elimvelela ngenza kwavuleka amehlo. You know, ngazizwa ngivibrate ukuthi okay, actually ngiyaphila. You know. So again we use the word shortcut.
That's right.
You know, so now being used to a shortcut, there's an addiction now. That means now all this chemical has turned into a drug.
Of course, it accumulates.
Yes, and we know a drug will take over you completely.
Of course.
Completely.
You become dependent.
You know, so now this then is then iposwe under spirituality.
Yeah.
And now, again, we were talking about wellness, ukuzinakekela, and keeping yourself vibrating and expanding, staying in motion, you know, being capable of the glory that you are, all this excellence that you see. You see, izilwanyana abagadi bomhlaba, abahlobo bomhlaba, they are capable of running under ilanga othi wena kumele uhlale emthunzini. Why? Because maintain lokhu okumgcina ewuyena kuze kumreward ngokuthi angithi it's carrying on
is working with it. That's right. It's working with it.
Yes, and nako kuza neyako intelligence yokwazana kabanzi nobume bendalo.
The whole thing is enhanced.
Okay, yes, udle uhlaza olubambelele from these roots. So there's this information that came, there's this knowledge that came, ulwazi. And I always say that ulwazi and knowledge, if language is ngisi, you don't really get into it and etymologically see it, then you end up realizing that awukhulumi ngezinto ey'fanayo. Uma ukhuluma ngolwazi ne-knowledge.
You might be missing it.
You know, but ke inkulumo le. So now kule ndaba yokungazinakekeli, sikhulumile ukuthi now we are becoming spirits that don't transcend, that drop in the limbo, that create underworldism, you know, because our beings, labo abaphile ngaphambili kunathi, abazali bethu, abasifundisile ukuthi la ekhaya kuvulwa amakhethini, kungena ilanga kube kahle. Ubese mekuvula ikhethini ingane sasanda kuzwala iswabuluke ubonakala ukuthi ukukhula kuba khona. You know, so sisaqhubeka ngayo, you know, hence why ngithi labo baphile ngaphambili ukuthi abazali bethu.
That's right.
You know, I won't even label, you know, in one word.
Individualized, no.
Yes, you know, so those beings ngokulunga kwabo, they take on transcendence. Njengoba ubona le eclipse besinayo yokuwa kwekhephu kwaba the snow and all that.
Something we haven't seen in a very long time, apparently.
You know, that is the return of givities. From the communities of high vibration, yalabo abenze ukulunga kwaba transformer into greatness, into ukwazi ukuthi bakhe amanye amakhaya angathinteki nanoma yini.
It's correct, sir.
You know, so now realizing ukuthi abahlobo bethu, iy'ngane zethu, abangani bethu are needing of this, then these eclipses happen, and then we receive.
It's a manna from heaven.
Uzwe kuthiwe asiphume singagqokile siyingane. Take on these molecules so we are assured ukukhula nazo.
Yeah.
Now before kube ngathi ngiya kakhulu, we are still talking about this limbo. Now these energies zokuthi udla what kills you while walking. What ferments you while walking. There's organs that no longer working. There's people that don't have a spleen working anymore. That don't have a pancreas working anymore. That have a certain percentage of liver happening. So that is great mutancy happening. That even it wipes you off from the love of your family. Ubona ukuthi umuntu mengaphilile ucikwa umndeni wakhe nothando
and
lobuntu.
you become withdrawn.
So that is now being hybridized. And when you become hybrid, there's no new state of being a transcender or being a high transformer.
You've locked yourself in.
Because we must also remember, lontu esikhuluma ngayo is also an action of creating the olives, ikaya, umhlaba. Hence why umhlaba ungahlaba, umhlaba umile, umhlaba original.
That's right.
Because of ukwenza okubuntu, and if it depended on just local limele, then hey, it would be harsh to deal with that. So lenda balena ke yokufuneka manje to heal these energies that you connect with is the reason now kumele utwas ukuhlumisa. So what happens is that if you now an energy that got hurt and you really killed your transcendence and dropped in the limbo, became a cog of that which is now a supreme user of this space where the spirit's in limbo. You are now in a harsh situation. You are now demonized. You are panicked. And remember, if you can't transform, you can't transcend. You have no knowledge of even a place you once created to transcend into, or ikaya elisha or al creator to transcend to. So that means you rely on the bit of information left for you. And that information may be your child, may be your friend, that you will now hack and force into be in their body, because where your energy is, it's not
going to do anything anymore.
It's torture and suffering.
And then uyongena kumntana ke manje komdlozana.
Uyongena umntana, and umntana ke manje is now is not receiving grace, is receiving psychological impairment. Because because in the heart now there's a forcing of ukulimala, okuzama blueprint, ukuzicoda into the blueprint of this child again. So then that means there's gonna be dysfunctionality, in this being. There's gonna be impairment. Cognition, there's going to be memory loss there and there, where you find that
concentrate and all of these things.
Because again, this energy that has entered is coming with confusion and a loss of that which made it to run as lengane nayo is running. Yes. But now, because now ingane yasapreseka, because there's no knowledge of what's going on. Even umuntu, because it happens ukuthi your body is becoming bigger and the bones are really forcing ukuthi kube
keep the things together.
But you are frozen in a space where you are still 7 years old, even though you seem 62. So even genzeka ukuthi even akuyona lengane na 35 and na 65, there's this suppression eyenza le confusion, based on ukuthi even the other things that could have been there to assist it, musically, even music, we shonisa pants,
I totally very the assimilation I think I told her naturally because of the confusion that has entered the space.
And it's out of motion. So now when the moment you are in emotions, it's because there's something in you that doesn't know how to live life. Because any being that knows how to live life, why would they be emotionalized? Because emotion is something that you can reverse, and you won't even catch it when you are in motion. That's why umuntu ongeko in emotion, who's in motion, forever seems as if they are somewhat out of touch with feelings, whereas they are in
They're living in the
actuality
now.
of connection.
They're living in the now, creating new.
Yes, they understand that, I'm giving you love from the fact that I can love myself. I am loving myself. So this confusion now that's happening, this impairment that's happening from this energy, engasakwazi ukuphila as umuntu, because it has no frame anymore, umzimba, izulu. It has no home anymore, umzimba, So it now forces itself into izulu lomunye umuntu, umzimba womunye umuntu. So there's glitches. There's a battle that even ngokuthi sesiphila ngokwazi izinto that don't really assist ourselves. It's hard for this child to understand, because we were once led by queen mothers who were 9 years old. Wow. Because bakrunyiwe, they know good, ngizizwa kanje khona into eyenzakala bengihamba, they lay it out ukuthi ngihambe kephi. So it might have ukuthi ngihambe laphaya ekusanamathambo enkukhama, or amathambo eqhude, the so-called kudu, so that are still creating a vibrance ukuthi are transformed. So I got hacked. Yes. So, so nowadays there's no time, there's no moment, as abazali to groom izingane to overstand those things. So now ungenwe ilezinto akakwazi nokwazi ukuthi what's what, and it's causing impairments. Now, what then happens is you are then told to do what? To ukuthi utwas. Yeah. You are told to ukuthi wenze lezinto that your spirit, you can feel ubuntu bakho, your vibrance ukuthi yabo ngiyasizwa, but actually no, because it tells all the time in you, you are the actual expert, of the breath you are breathing. Because it stems within you, So whether you don't get it, that why you feel you don't feel it is right, that is said to be the way of helping me. But I can tell, and you can even lash out, and come out naive, but it will always tell, So that's why it is so important that we heal. Because when we heal, even this energy now, you get to say, okay, you made, unfortunately or fortunately for you, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to happen, the way of your panic and taking me over. But you're going to tone down and you're going to be
follow my sequence.
I'm now going to heal myself from the fact that you've invaded me. And if you stay in the right honorable sense, you will receive the bars of what I'm doing, and therefore you will get cured too, and therefore we will teach you again how to live, and
then you can rest. You can rest well
and transform and live, because the spirit, umoya wokuphila, ubuntu
awupheli.
Yes, and you can even remember ukuthi labo bebekuthanda ubuphila nabo nakhe ekhaya liphi wena owasala wangaya kulona, abanye bebuyela neinkomo ekhayeni wena waduka. So because nabo mhlambe bayibuza ukuthi kwathini, so it becomes a thing of ukuthi, it needs really an honorable way of touching every aspect of ukunakekela umzimba, and not just be a formula, and not just come with ukuthi mina I know best. We have to listen and to learn the vibrance of spirit, the vibrance of ukuphila, umphefumulo ezunyuka, ezungena, receive umoya on a nutrition. You see, we receive umoya on a nutrition womanyano nomubumbano lemvelo.
That's right.
We bring it into our body, and our body in its harmony, our melanin organ, our carbon organ, usiba lokphila, begins to now align it with you and take this, and then it steers it. Then we bring it up. That's when we begin to breathe now.
That's right.
Now we breathe from all now that has been created ukuthi kuhambisana now, and then you breathe. Now that breath is water, sacred waters to water your homes, your organs, because you have to be watered with the waters that know the actuality that you are.
Dropping jewels.
So so this essence of spirit, you know, if we really want to talk about spirituality, we are talking about ukuphila nje ukungenzi lutho.
Then you are truly aligned.
Enjoy nje ukuthi laphuma ilanga, sithamela ilanga, siphakela ukudla amehlethu, because kunalento yokuthi even when you are struggling with your eyes, it's never taken into consideration ukuthi the rainbow, umnyama or uthingo, you know, that is built by ilanga, you know, will also cure the eyes, you know, or will also feed the eyes. Because where I like to come from with it is the fact that this is food. Even the products that you talked about, these are not chemicals and trying to act pharmaceutical and match up ukuthi nathi sihloniphe sibizo dokotela. No, thina we care for ukuthi siphile, so that because when you are well, siyakwazi ukuhleka lo mhleka. So these beings come in food. You know, for instance, you talked about ikabanion. Ikabanion is a harmony of food. We're talking about olive, you know, that even comes up in books of
it's known in
spirit,
general, yes.
You know, where you've heard God, you know, talking about giving itself to you, ukuthi, you know, ngizokumela with these olives, with these dates, usuhamba in the harshest desert.
That's right.
You know, ngizokumela ngazo, you will be empowered ngazo. You know, so these are beings that then, you know, we this cabanion in this bottle, it's a plate of food. You know, now bridging the fact that you are already struggling inside.
That's right.
You know, first of all, you don't eat right, that you don't liquidize your food, that is, to an extent yoguti amate. Your amylase, it release the beginnings of digestion.
The breaking down of system.
Yes. So, you know, the hydrochloric acids are struggling. Let alone ukuthi udla something that is acidic, noma engayona nje imvelo, noma engayona into eyazana with umzimba. You know. So now when you are now clogged, where you find that you have this blockade, where this fecal impaction goes almost to your duodenum, you know, your main digester, you then need something that's going to bridge that. So applying this cream, it's not just beautifying you. You know, ubuhle into esiphila ngayo siyayazi. It's our poet. You know. So in just not ending up to ekutheni ube muhle, but uphile ungahamba usindwa ukukhanya kwelanga, nabantu abaphilayo abanenhlonipho, ngokuhlonipha umuntu kube ngathi ukuzela nencindezi. No, you know, we then, okay, so if now your kidneys can no longer receive ukudla okushayo ngaphakathi, because your hydrochlorics are no longer even being created ngaphakathi, sekukhuphuka this ammonia, these acids that are burning your heart. So by applying lokudla, udle with your pores, with your skin, so iyakhona la ibizo yakhona,
and it heals,
bekumele iyakhona, and then kube nokulunga.
Dropping jewels. That's Bakantu Naira Luzugo. Make sure that you check him out. He's our guest for today. And he's a gentleman that you definitely want to know and get to know. He's definitely going to make a return. I mean, he's here for the first time. Second time I'm doing an interview with him. It's always such a pleasure, and it's always just knowledge-filled. So we do understand a whole lot of concepts that he's able to introduce to us today. Remember that you can catch up on this podcast, or at least on this interview particularly, on all our social media spaces. That is YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. On YouTube, if you do subscribe, you'll definitely find it there. It's going to stay there indefinitely. So if you want to go out there, make sure that you check it out.
I know, Guti, you know, the show goes the way it goes, and with grace, sizesathola ukukhuluma over the hour.
Of course.
You know, and it's something I always plead with umuntu womhlaba, you know, ukuthi abekezele. Sometimes sinale sikhashana nale gap yokuthi siphose izinto that will ignite, you know. For umuntu osazama ngampela ukuphuma kuzona kuba ngathi, hey, this is too much, you know, but take it as it's poured, ubhale eceleni, and just approach izinto bit by bit, and note lezi ezinga-approacheki ukuthi, okay, I still need to go about it this way. And when you meet somebody whom you feel, yazi lo muntu uthatha le, and then you can maybe say, okay,
how do I get through?
Singakhuluma ngalo, you know, and if really they are honest and transparent to ukuthi kuphuma into ephilayo kubona engakwazi ukuxoxisana nawe on behalf of this topic,
that's right.
then kwenzeke, you know. And I also ucela to there's something that I wrote that touches,
I'm sure somebody was cool.
Yes, that touches, it's a poetic extract from a book that I'm currently writing, you know, amongst these books, you know, that are to just assist, you know. I've seen how tough it is to get on with reversing to uzizwe kahle, you know, ukuphuma ezintweni ezikulimazayo ukuthi it's a tough situation, you know. You need words that will speak to your psychological frame. You need words that will speak to isandi, you know, music, where you find that as you begin to assist yourself to be right, to be well, even certain music that is loved by your friends is not good for you anymore, and it's making you seem that you are out of place. Kwenzakalani ngawo usuyahlanya ini, you know, and that's a tough spot to be in, you know. You go through judgment, you go through this, you know. So I wrote this. It goes like this: days of our lives that make so much sense, the most happiest, freeing of all, seem to be the hardest, as if you are breaking, becoming alienated, seeming out of sort, just because you are breaking free greatly, being free from designs of inorganicness, designs of exploitation, mutation, designs of being hybridized, where great people were turned into demons and soul snatchers. I say stick with it. Pull clarity in every way. Soulfully, enobuntu clarity. Give yourself resilience. To feel your body cracking from having to open up because your nerves are no longer numb is happiness you might not interpret joyfully, but stick with it. To initiate your energetic take-off as just yourself as a fueler without no rush from any externalized chemical reaction may feel greatly pounding. The kind of glory you may not interpret celebratory. Stick with it, I say. You have to take it through with your goodness, my good soul. You can't always give in to a charade of being overwhelmed. It's locking you into a loop of ideologized healing or wish or intellectualized good life. It's turning your greatness into a weaponized device against you. It's taking your transcendence, your transformation, sitting you in a loop. I'm healing. I'm healing. Stick with it. Make changes that may even seem drastic. Do it. There's life after this life and after it. Do it for continuity, not just for memory. And now that this now you think is now is not even now anymore. It's a blinding ship that locks you into a limbo that isn't even now. Emphasize on that. You know, you are in the brain of a mutated being. That is not even a being, unworthy to be named. So stick with these things that serve your heart right. You know, entertain you. That is enter and attain that is right, that is well, that picks you up practically. Don't just be entered and be tamed and think that is entertainment. It's mutating you. It's taking you away from the wish that you are even wishing of upil. Stick with it.
Sir. Hey, sir, thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. Oh, man, you can definitely check him out. I want people to know where they can find you because it's also important. Those are beautiful words. Some of the stuff that is really busy with. Ubabuluzugo, how do people get through to you? Is there a number? Because I know that he does some craft work. You should check out his work. He's absolutely amazing. Give us your number.
062 469 7524.
I'll just repeat that. That's 062 469 7524. That's right. And it's Bakantu Naira Luzugo, spiritual teacher, healer, teacher, leather craftsman rather, and an artist. A person that you definitely want to check out. And it's going to be good to have. At least we're going to have him around in the studio again. I'm sure that he's going to come back. There's so much that we didn't cover. So,
Sir. Much love.
zami darling ngixolele ngakuthando beluse khona yini na 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 hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zonkumbu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zonkumbu hambu zobu hambu zobu ayimthola mfana na hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu you're the only one hambu zobu hambu zobu hambu zobu ayimthola mfana nawe hambu zobu ya nana hambu zobu ya
RnB Vibes on Voice on the Move Radio.
nawe nawedwa sana sana noma inkinga ziningi mina yeah, baby girl mina ngikazwa nguwe baby girl you are stronger better than ever you can do it peregrination
We the best. We the best.
Right, see then. So you tuned into your favorite radio station. It is Oscar Msomi on your favorite radio station, Voice on the Move Radio. And of course, we've actually come to that point. It's right at the end. We had a beautiful show. I mean, we did have a guest, Bakantunara Luzugo, who's given us a beautiful interview, and he told us a whole lot of stuff that we definitely needed to learn about. I mean, living in the world that we live in, a whole lot of changes that are going on. It's always best that we just have a good lookout and, keep a very good lookout on spiritual stuff, and so that we just know how to carry ourselves. I mean, if singers are Zimvelapietu, then we have no winning. There's no way that we're going to get to the destination that we're intending. We definitely have Bishop Lebogang, and we do have Umshuti. Zodwa Sibia is also part of the experience. Thank you so much. Nomonde, I definitely see you, and I do have Uslezwane. It's Sitlezwane, most certainly. It's gonna be that moment where I just have to bid you farewell. Of course, we're gonna be doing this again next week. We do it every single Sunday from 9 till 12. Make sure that you're part of the family, be part of the experience, and we can do this together. We're definitely looking forward to having you here again next week. So it's just been an absolutely amazing experience having you. I'm going to say goodbye now. And of course, I'm going to say goodbye with this beautiful track right here. Ungowami. That's DJ Cyclops and Dundumi. So the healer. We're healing the station today. Healing the nation. I know that you love it.
noma ngenamali chaza kuma kwakho umoya wami uyaduduzeka awe ubuhle bakho buyangijova njenge-vaccine angifuni umuntu eduze kwakho ngikujohnsina tafula ngizongcolisa lentombi iyangihlanyisa dlala ingoma DJ ubumnanda bupheli Sohlala ngowami njalo sohlala ngowami njalo sohlala ngowami njalo sohlala ngowami njalo bambeki alamagama othanda wavimbe unjengelanga liphuma umuhle njengonyezi uphume kuseni ishamanzi okuphuza ngiyomele namalanda mhlophe emoyeni uma nginawe ntomba kulambeki njengendluzela yomela amanzi sohlala ngowami njalo 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 hambe nginalo darling nawe lubanzi lujule njengamanzi ngithanda nendlela ongoma ngayo umuhle you are my desire moya wami uyaduduzeka away thando lwakho luyangishisa njengelakista ngifuna imuntu eduze kwakho ngingubhatista hlala ingoma DJ ubumnandi abupheli sohlala ngowami njalo 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 sohlala ngowami njalo.
That's your radio station, and that's me saying goodbye to you. Absolutely crazy, but we are right here. It's 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. And I'm thinking that Mora is going to be walking in any minute. Sane, all the people that are out there, I definitely see you. Mahong Childre is a Chindre. And I do have Ungweya, is it Ngwenya? BHK. There's Uli Soleto as well, Mvuleni, and a whole lot of you. Mr. Kumbi, I definitely see you. Thank you so much for being part of the experience. I am going to say goodbye now. It's been absolutely a beautiful honor. Gabonga, 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 Gabonga. Akala. Thank you.
It's the Western style.
Makali weekend, ikali kad, ikali qed.
ayihtakahlasele ayinamathelele into yaniphumelela ingane ziyithandile ufaka abajayivile awuze
We the best. We the best.
Sometimes you gotta take a chance with your everything. And that right there, that's what makes it special. Oh my gosh. What a sight so sweet. The apple on my eye. Tryna process what I see, your inception. My real nigga, them is getting reckless, breathless. The thought of you's got me elevated. Oh, let me take you to the ocean floor.